Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube /We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My boy Jay Hill's over there in the 6. How you doing, my brother?
Doing good, man. I'm doing good, especially because we got a well-accomplished guest on it. Let me the numbers, the accolades back it up. So let me just read this down and then we'll introduce who this man is. So third time All-Patriot League in 2019, second team All-Patriot League in 2020, first team All-Patriot League in 2021. This dude is the definition of a sniper. If you don't believe me, check out the film, man, because I had to go and check it out as well. A guy who scored double digits in the G League in his past season at Lafayette. He went to Lafayette, played on the Oklahoma City Blue last year. Welcome to the show, Justin Jaworski, man. Welcome to Clutch Talk, man. How you doing, man? Had to
I'm
give you a little.
Appreciate you guys having me. Did your research there. Got the nickname down and everything. So
Yes, sir. Had to.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. Just how Jay Hill said, Justin, we're very happy to have you on the pod. And I'm gonna have to call Justin Jay Hill today, and Justin because we got the 3 J's on the pod today, man. But all right, so yeah, guys. So we just want to talk to Justin about his basketball journey and where he's led up to and now. So are you cool getting into that, Justin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. So, what we first like to start with all these player interviews is where you were born. But Justin, you are the first person that I could not find anywhere where you were born. It just said your nationality was American. So tell us, Justin. I know you went to high school in Pennsylvania, but tell us, where were you born and how did that all start? Who put the ball in your hands and at what age?
Yeah, cool. So I'm from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. It's like a suburb outside of Philadelphia, about 30 minutes from Philly. So I'm a Philly guy through and through, like born here, raised here, Philly sports. I'm all about it. And just like my parents really started me with the game when I was probably like 5, really. Like I've played as long as I can remember. I'm not sure if you guys saw my last Instagram post, but I'm moving out of my house and we were going through all my old things and we found the little, I was in first grade, it was a little portfolio project and I wrote, I want to be a professional basketball player. So I mean, I've been wanting to play basketball my whole life. So really, as early as I can remember, my parents got me into it.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. I did actually see that. So it's all about speaking that into existence, which you did. It's crazy. The spell, I'd actually read, like looked at it, the spelling, you obviously worked on it, on that part of it. But you certainly became a pro. So shout out to you for that, man. But you talked about Philly. So I got to ask, like you probably, when you you're a little younger when he came, but AI, like, was that part of your influence, like Allen Iverson? Because you said you grew up in Philly. Was that someone you looked up to playing wise, or what players did you look up to is my next question for you.
Oh, absolutely. AI is my favorite athlete of all time.
Okay.
Just like 6 foot killer. I just love the way he played, how tough he was. And like, I was always really short growing up. Like, I mean, I'm not short anymore. Like I'm 6'2", so I'm not short, but I'm shorter than a lot of guys still.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, I was always very small. So just like watching him play always made me feel like that I could do it too. So he's definitely my favorite athlete ever.
And you've been a Philly fan your whole life, 76ers through and through?
Yeah, 76ers. I mean, I love the Sixers. My fiance is like a huge Sixers fan, but really like Philadelphia Eagles is like my family's big fan.
Okay.
I've had season tickets my whole life, so I try to get to at least a couple games every year. But, yeah, definitely Phillies, Eagles, Sixers are like my 3.
Okay. But so look, Justin, since you're probably the first person I ever talked to really from Philly, so I gotta ask, well, how do you feel about Ben Simmons?
Oh man, I don't want to get into it too much, just in case I got to play with the guy.
Oh, you good? Yep. All right.
I'm not fond of the guy. I don't like how everything turned out. I just like it could have been handled a lot more professionally, especially like the spot that he was in. Like, I understand it probably wasn't a great fit, but like we just paid you $180 million, $200 million. Like it would have been nice just to have him kind of thug it out a little bit and try to make it work. But I mean, yeah, I'll take James Harden too, though.
Yeah, I'm right
Facts.
there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I definitely wanted to see him out there. But I just had to check the temperature on that. But let's keep it pushing, Justin. So what you grow up and then you end up going to Pergamon Valley High School in Pennsylvania. Tell us how your high school experience was, especially you being a successful two-sport athlete, playing 3 years of varsity football and 4 years of varsity basketball. That's honestly insane. So talk to us how that was.
Yeah, I mean, so Perkins Valley I don't know how your high school system works, but it's 6A here, so that's like the biggest conference that you could be in.
Mhm.
But like it's still relatively small. Like if you go really outside of my area, a lot of people have never heard of it. It's just like a public school. Like that's where I went my whole life. And we weren't like talented by any means, but we won a lot of games. Just like I was lucky enough to play with really good teammates. We knew how to play. I had great coaching my whole life. So like I was the only college basketball player on our team, but we won a ton of games. Football, we were more talented. We had a lot of college guys, but basketball, like really wasn't super talented, but won a ton of games. And like I had a couple offers to leave and like go to a private school, maybe reclass. I had about 3 or 4 offers to do that, but I decided to kind of stick it out with my people. And like I thought I could make it where I was at. Like I didn't get recruited much until my senior year. So it was a little bit of a risk doing that, but I'm glad I decided to stick it out. My senior year, I think we won like 30 something games. So like really, really good experience for me in high school. Like I love those guys, still talk to them. They're still all like very close friends of mine.
For sure, for sure. And then you talked about like, your experience in high school. What was the decision making for wanting to play afterwards at Lafayette in basketball compared to like the other sports you're playing in football? I know you're an accomplished football player. I read up on you in that regard. So what was it like basketball? I know we saw the writing. Obviously, you want to be professional in basketball. But why was it basketball over the other sports?
Man, I could talk to you about that decision for like 2 hours. Like my recruitment was a mess. Like it was all over the place.
Hmm.
But it really came down to I just love basketball more. Like
Hmm.
if you ask a lot of people that I grew up with, they'll probably say I was a better football player. Like there's still a lot of people that will come up to me like, man, you should have played football. Like I wanted you to play football. But I mean, just for me, like I love putting time into the basketball thing. Like I love doing it
Hmm.
on my own. I still love doing it every day. For football, I didn't love practice. I really didn't work on it outside of my own like team time. So
Hmm.
like the simple answer is it came down to me loving it more, but like a lot more went into the whole recruitment thing. It was kind of crazy.
And what position did you play in football?
So I got recruited as a wide receiver, but I
Oh, okay.
played
Okay.
wide receiver and cornerback. So I played both
Okay.
offense and defense.
Okay. Two ways. Two ways. Okay.
Yeah, two-way. Facts.
I like that. I like that. All right. So then, after all of your success in high school and earning all league honors, academic all league honors twice, both in football and basketball,
Yeah.
after a very successful high school career, you earned a Division I scholarship. And hey, man, every time I have somebody on the pod that played D1, I can never let it go past their head. Like, man, I got to give you your flowers, dog. Like, you got to realize that less than 2% of high school athletes go on to play Division I of any sport, right? Nevertheless, basketball, because I think basketball is like much harder to get offers from than football, in my opinion, as far as like college and all that. So talk to us, like your first year at Lafayette. Talk to us. I know you said your recruitment process was crazy, but how was that being a little fish in a big pond now?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. And like I said with the recruitment thing, so basically I had 0 basketball offers like my whole high school career, and I had about 20 in football. And football signing day is December. So
Hmm.
I had 0 basketball offers. I had a ton of football ones. And like December came and all these coaches like, yeah, we need to answer. And I eventually just told them all like, yeah, I think I'm going to do the basketball route. Like, well, what offers do you have? I was like, none right now, but like, I think I'm going to get some. So that was like a big risk for me. And then Lafayette came in really late. We beat Roman Catholic in the state tournament, which if you guys were Philly people, that's like a really big deal. Like Roman's a powerhouse. So they came in really late after that game, got an offer, basically committed right away. I took a couple visits, but I think I knew I was going to Lafayette the whole time. And then, yeah, freshman year, like it really started for me really quickly. Like I started my first game that I played in. it was really kind of a seamless transition for me. At the beginning, I went through it a little bit about halfway through my freshman year, just missing shots. Had to come off the bench for a little bit, like wasn't playing great, and then got back in the starting rotation the last like 10 or so games. But I would say freshman year was like a pretty seamless transition for me. Shot the ball really well. We weren't a great team. We were like a very young team, but it was really good for me to just kind of like get my feet wet with it. Like I still played 31 minutes a game. So it was definitely like a quick start for me.
Yeah, definitely. In your freshman year, you had led the team in minutes, but I want to talk about one thing that happened your freshman year, and I think you might know where I'm going to, man. It's that 3-point game winner that you hit that ends up making ESPN top 10 plays. Talk to us about that. Like, were your friends blowing you up after that? Like, how did that even come about?
Man, that's another really good story that I could get into some funny detail, but. So it was at Colgate. That was the first time I ever played Colgate. And I guess we'll say like 5 months before I took a visit to Colgate. And Colgate's like a 6-hour drive for me. So that was like a big commitment. Like went up there, played with their guys, played really well with their guys. Like I killed it. And I was like, damn, I'm definitely about to get this offer from them. And they basically said, listen, like we love you. You check all the boxes for us. We just don't have a scholarship for you. And like, I hated that me and my mom just drove 6 hours to upstate New York and like you didn't even have an offer for us. So like going into that game, I had a little bit of like extra motivation to it. And I don't think I even played that well the whole game. I think I might have had like 12 points or something. But when I got the ball at the end of the game, I was not giving the ball up. Like I was a freshman, like one of my good friends, Matt Klanuski, he was a senior at the time. And like you can see him if you watch the video, like calling for the ball. I was like, I am not giving this thing up. Like, I just felt perfect into it and just walked into it. And then, yeah, like once it got on ESPN, like all my friends would blow my phone up, sending it to me. So that was a pretty cool start to my freshman year.
Man, I bet you were walking around feeling like the man on campus. So then I you have that big breakout freshman year, and then your sophomore year you take another big leap. You lead the team in scoring, free throw percentage, 3-point percentage, and you come second in the nation for 3-point percentage. But honestly, Justin, what I want to highlight, and you've done all of it on the court, but you're on it on school. You're academically in high school. You made the academic honors for football and basketball. For college, you made the Patriot League academic honor roll selection. So talk to us about because let's be honest, most big time athletes don't have like the time or don't even want to go do that. So who instilled that into you that school's important and you got to take school seriously?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my parents, right? Just because like my mom's a teacher, my dad was a Marine. So obviously two not strict, but like two, like they have their shit together. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
You go ahead.
Yeah, so like they're with it. So because I can remember in like first grade, like get my report card and being like all worried about like, did I get my check pluses? Like they didn't have grades yet, like checks and check pluses. So like, and then I have older siblings as well. So like my sister had a 4.0 all through high school, got a full scholarship to college academically, like 4.0. She was valedictorian in high school and in college. So like she kind of set the bar for all of like my other two brothers. So my other brother, he is a electrician in the union. And then my still older, but closest to me in age, he's a aerospace engineer. So like he's the smartest of all of us by far. But yeah, so like kind of my whole family was like very into school. Like it was important from when I was really young. And I think part of it was just like, I like being good at things. So like, even if it comes to school, like I didn't want to be the sibling that like messed up in school. I wanted to kind of keep it going, being the youngest.
Man. So that's inspirational because a lot of people, yeah, like you said, the balance is key as you progress. But Justin, I want to real quick touch on. So I read off the accolades earlier, and then so you naturally progress from your freshman year on. You literally went from third team to first team. Talk about that progression, and was it a change in mentality, a change in what like work ethic or what you saw on the floor at Lafayette? Talk to us about that, literally going from third to first team.
I mean, so every single year, like even though I got those awards, I always felt like I could have gotten more. Like I feel like I deserved more. So like even freshman year, like I averaged 11 as a freshman, which was second out of all the freshmen in scoring that year. Like got left off the all freshman team. So like from the very start, I was like, all right, like this feels like high school again. I'm not getting my offers. Now I didn't get my all rookie team honor. So like sophomore year, got third team, and like the way I played, the numbers I put up, I could have gotten first team. We just didn't win enough games. So like sophomore year to junior year was all right. You can put up numbers, like you need to help these guys win. Like what are you doing to influence basketball games? So then junior year was like really, I feel like everything started to click for me. Like I was averaging 22 a game like halfway through the year, and then went down a little bit once we started league play, just better scouting reports, all that. And like we were winning a ton of games. We were tied for second in the league, and then I tore my ACL in February at Army. We were tied for second at the time, and it was just like it sucked because my junior year was always like I told everybody if we were going to win the league, it was my junior year. Like we had 5 seniors, and my class was 4 juniors. So like we were good, we were talented, we were now old. So that injury really was rough. I probably would have got first team had I finished the year out. So like that was second team all league that year. And then heading into my senior year, everything was all about just like I need to prove that I'm coming back better from my injury. Like that was my big thing. I can't let the injury define my career. Like I got to be better than this injury. So junior to senior year had nothing to do with basketball, had nothing to do with winning games, like anything. It was just I need to prove that like I can get through this injury, and came out on the other side better than every other year. So that was something I was really proud of.
Yeah. That's a lot of times you don't see that progression. So I had to ask you on what that was like in that mentality. So after Lafayette, we'll get into that. What was that process like? I know you always wanted to be a pro basketball player. We talked about it earlier. You wrote that to yourself. And then now fast forward about 18 or about 20, 22 years later, you're on the cusp of being a pro. What was that like, hiring an agent, getting looks from offers, pro teams, the NBA? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it was crazy because I remember always hitting up like my friends that have played pro before me. I was like, yo, how do you get an agent? Like, what's the process for getting an agent? And they were like, don't worry about it. Like, they'll hit you up. And like, I didn't hear anything until my senior year, which I guess is normal. And then like my senior year, I had like 50 agents, like all lined up to try to like just figure out like, hey, I want to be your agent. Like, this is what I do, whatever. So I had to interview like all these people. And then I landed on my agent just because it was during COVID times too. So like it was all Zoom interviews. So you really don't know who you're talking to. He actually flew out to Indianapolis when I was out there during the Final Four. I was doing that like 3-on-3, like the national 3-on-3 tournament. So I met him out there, like felt comfortable that he took the time to fly out there. So that's kind of how I landed on the agency thing. And then I also had, with the COVID year, you could transfer wherever you wanted, basically. It was because you get that extra year of eligibility, right? So I could have grad transferred really wherever. Like, I don't want to put any coaches out there, but like, because I never put my name in the transfer portal, but I had offers basically wherever I wanted to go. But just like for me, like where I was at in my life, I felt like I was ready to take that NBA step. I was getting like pre-draft workout interest. I was getting combine interest. So I was like, I risked it playing football or playing basketball over football. I might as well take this risk now. Like, see if you can go play pro. And like, I was lucky enough. I got the summer league offer with the Hawks. Got the Exhibit 10 with the Thunder, which basically means I was with them for training camp. They waived me, and then I played for the G League team. So it was a good start for me. Good opportunity. Definitely wasn't easy at all, but it was a good start for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's an amazing start. And first of all, let's talk about you brushed past the Exhibit 10, and I read that on your bio, the getting signed by. I don't care if it's a day, a second, 2 minutes, getting signed by an NBA team for Exhibit 10, Oklahoma City Thunder. Amazing. Congrats to you, man. That's big time. So just we can't skate past that, because you got to give you your props, my G. But
I appreciate it. That's big for me, because I kind of struggle with, I guess, taking time to appreciate things. Like, I'm always like, what am I going to do next? Like, I got to get this 2-way contract next. I got to get this real NBA contract next. So for me, sometimes I always don't take as much pride in things like that. But like when I look back on it, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I know you talked about that as well. Talk to us about what the summer league experience was like, and then what your experience with the Blue afterwards, because I know that's such a long process, starting from the summer league all the way to, like you said, getting signed and then playing with the Blue.
Yeah, so summer league and Oklahoma City was almost like the same experience, just like elongated. So I went to Atlanta and was thinking like, all right, I'm going to go here. I'm going to earn my time. I'm going to come like practice hard, do well practice, and I'm going to play every game. It's like that was just my mentality, how I looked at it. So I went down there, killed in practice, like some of the best basketball I ever played in my life. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm going to go. I'm going to play every game. Like this is going to be easy. Didn't touch the court for the first 3 games. Didn't play a single minute. And I'm sitting there on the bench so mad. Like I didn't know what the hell was going on. And that was like my first taste of like what being a pro is. Like it's a business. They have guys that they need to see first. And like you're going to get your time when you get your time. Like it had nothing to do with what I did at practice. And then 4th game rolled around. We played the Heat. I think I scored 7 points against the Heat in like 15 or so minutes. And what was really cool for me was I played pretty well, like in the short amount of minutes that I played. So they let me finish the game. Like the final 3 minutes, they put me in there, like go finish the game. And I actually hit like the 2 game-winning free throws at the end of the game. So that was like a big confidence boost for me. Like, all right, these guys think I can play. Like they let me finish the game. And then the final game we played, the Knicks. And like the final game is usually like the older guys or like the draft picks, they'll usually sit out if they've played really well. Like, all right, we don't need to see you anymore. But the Knicks had all of their guys still playing. Like Obi Toppin played, Emmanuel quickly played, Quentin Grimes, a couple other like real rotational dudes played that game. And they let me just go that game. I played like 28 minutes or something, and I scored 16 points, like hit 4 threes. So that was like really cool for me, was to play like against legit NBA guys, not just hold my own, but like excel. So like I think that was the game for me where I was really like, I belong here. I can play with these dudes. So that was the summer league experience. Like had to wait for my opportunity, and then played well the last 2 games. So I'm thinking, all right, I signed the Exhibit 10 with OKC. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna kill all season. Barely played November and December, like the first 2 months of the year. Barely played at all. And then December played a little bit, and then January, February, like they finally gave me my shot. Played really well with the time I got. So kind of the same thing, like have to wait for your opportunity, have to stay ready as hard as that is. But so yeah, 2 similar experiences where I had to kind of wait behind some guys in line and then go kill once they finally let me go.
Yeah, man, I absolutely. And you know, you talk about, you know, playing you know, I'll be Toppin and Quentin Grimes and all these like, you know, players that are getting, you know, some big minutes. So if you could, you know, if you could think like, wow, like that was a real tough matchup, or that was a real hard guard, because I'm sure, you know, if you where you come from in Lafayette in high school, you were, you know, probably the top of the top of the athletes, but now, you know, you're facing where every night, every player you're playing is with the top of their high school, the top of their college. And how was that?
No, 100%. That's the biggest difference as you move up, is like, obviously guys get more skilled. Like we're pros now. Like I'm not going to class anymore. All I go to the gym twice a day. Like that's my job. So like as you move up, guys get more skilled, but the biggest jump is just like size and athleticism. Like some of these guys are nuts. And I think probably the biggest like difference maker for me, not difference maker, but the first time I saw that difference was in that Knicks game. We're playing Jericho Sims. If like you don't know who Jericho Sims is, go look up like the alley-oops he catches. Like he'll dunk the ball and his chest will be at the rim. So like if you go watch, I have a highlight tape on YouTube of that, of the Hawks game, the Hawks against the Knicks in the summer league, and I shoot a layup over Jericho Sims. And I thought I threw it like over the backboard because I had to get it over him blocking the shot, and like he must have got up to like 12 and a half feet and like just barely missed the block. But I'm like, after I shot that, I was like, I couldn't have shot that any higher. So like that was like the first time I ever saw something like that, and I was like, all right, like you're playing against the best players in the world now.
Man, And talk to us about like night to night, because I know in G League, one of the things we forget from, or not people forget, or a lot of people forget, understand that the from the D League to now the G League, a lot of guys, like you mentioned, are fighting for, well, everyone's fighting for a spot on an NBA team, but a lot of guys are veterans who are coming down. Like I know, remember Serge Ibaka at one point last season came down. A lot of veterans will come down to get some their feet under them and then go back up. But talk to me about last year. And with all, I know COVID, and about January, February, a lot of guys were getting called up to the NBA. What was that like? You know, guys bouncing around, getting calls up. I felt like the whole G League at one point. Did that lead to you getting more opportunities? Were you considered for some of those spots? What was that like, man? I know that was wild.
So the G League is like crazy. Like you never know what the roster is going to be, because especially in OKC, because OKC, the Thunder are so young. You can have three what's called assignment players. So the NBA players will drop down and play with the G League team, and so the Thunder, it was like a rotating door. Like you never knew who was going to be at practice one day. You never knew who's going to play. And like for me, that's what killed me at the beginning. Like November, December is, all right, I'm in I'm the second group point guard at practice all the time. Like I'm playing well, like doing all the good things at practice. The coaches are like, you're doing great. And then next game, like they just come in, Teo Maladon, Trey Mann, they're on assignment today. Okay. 2 point guards are going to play every minute. Like, so I'm not going to play. So that was the hardest thing for me, was like not knowing when these guys are going to be here, because they're going to practice with the Thunder guys and then drop down with us for games. So that was the hardest part for me, was just kind of staying ready, whether I knew I was going to play or not. And then you would think with all the call-ups that I would have kind of got lucky with that opportunity thing. But with the OKC Blue, like the only time our guys got called up was like 8 of them got called up at once, and then they just stopped the G League season for 2 weeks. Like we didn't have any games. So like everybody got their 10 days, like played their game, and then like came back for the G League, and then we restarted. So there really was never like these guys got their call up, so I'm going to get my like extra minutes. Unfortunately, it never happened like that. And for the call ups, I don't know if I was ever like in the running. At the end of the year, I kind of thought I was, like, just because I'd finished the year really strong, like played well. I feel like I played better than some other guys. But like I said, it's a business. Like they had guys that they probably were going to call up anyway. So that was tough for me at the end of the year. Was I really thought I earned that 10-day, but it didn't come. Hopefully in the future I'll get there. But yeah, so last year never fully pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you keep working at the rate you do, because we know you're a gym rat and all that. But I kind of want to talk to you, because I got a chance. I love looking at film, watching film, breaking guys' games down, and see what I can take away from it. But one thing that I really notice about your game, and I want you to just talk to me about, is you're good. You can handle the ball. You can create your own shot. But one thing offensively, why you're so hard to guard, and actually a coach I saw in an interview, I believe it was from your highlight, after a game, he had said, this guy just doesn't stop moving without the ball. And I think that, like, similar to like a guy like Steph, you see him, he's kind of what you'd say an undersized guard, as you would say, as you said before, you are, but you don't stop moving without the ball. Is that something you saw that could be effective in your game as you move to the pros, or is that something you learned before Lafayette? Because I know you did that a lot there, moving without the ball, and you were able to score on the ball and off.
No, so like I said, growing up in high school, I got really lucky I had really good coaches. Like you guys see, like in the high school system, it's just kind of like guys coaching. Like it's kind of a crapshoot. Like you don't know who's going to coach you. So I got really lucky with the coaching I got. Like we barely ran plays in high school. It was all reading your defender, motion offense. Like if they give you a look, there's always like a response to that. So like somebody chases over, you curl. Somebody goes under, you can bounce back on the screen, back cuts, like all this stuff. So in high school, that's really where I learned it. And then that really helped me transition into college. Like college, we ran the same type of offense. Really, everybody does. And then my sophomore year is when it really started to click for me, where I was like, you know, if I'm just in better shape than everybody and nobody wants to chase me around, like that's an easy way to get open. And my coach in college really didn't like us dribbling the ball a ton anyway. I was like, all right, I can score a million points if I just run around the whole game. They're eventually going to get tired. Nobody wants to guard that. So that was kind of the whole thought process behind it. Was like, I learned how to read defenders in high school, and then in college it clicked for me. Like, nobody wants to run around, obviously. So like, if you can be in good shape and kind of wear dudes down, eventually you're going to start getting open looks.
Okay. Yeah, I had to ask, and that makes a lot of sense. Having that foundation and then further building on it, and that's gonna help you at the pro level, and already has, obviously. But being able to play with another, maybe more ball dominant guard, and you can play on the ball as well as off the ball, so that's extremely effective. And I don't want to talk to you about two big games. You know, you talked about later on you started getting more playing time and everything, and you obviously did well throughout the season to be average close to double digits in G League at that high level anyways. Amazing. So congrats on that. But talking about two particular games, one in particular against the Sioux Falls Skyforce, where we had 20 points and you were locked in from range, 6 for 7 from that game. Talk to us about that game, because I mean, I used to play in college as well, but I would call that kind of a blackout game where you're just, obviously you've had big games, you're a shooter, you're a sniper, but talk to us about that game, because that was kind of a breakout game if you call for you in your first season in pros.
No, I was about to say that was really the first game where I felt like I really, maybe not like earned everybody's trust. Like, I feel like I had that before, but like proved that I'm not only just like on the team, like I can really help us win. Like, I can do things to help us. And just like the guys on the team, like Xavier Simpson, DJ Wilson, Lindy Waters, like they're telling me, yo, if you touch the ball, like shoot it every time you get it. So like hearing that from the guys that are playing all the minutes was big for me, like kind of a confidence boost. Like, all right, you know what? Like, you belong out here. Like, go do your thing. So that was kind of like my breakout game, I think. And not just that, but like defensively, I feel like was also like great for me. I guarded Mario Chalmers the whole game, which obviously like accomplished guy, like obviously not in his prime anymore, like older, but like I grew up watching him on TV. So like guarding him, and I guarded him really well, was really big for me.
I wanted to get the G League and that story, but now it's on to the next step for you. And on June 27th, I'm not sure if that's exact date, you signed a pro or your next contract for your second season of pros with BC Sebastian. I know that's half the name, but I wouldn't even try to pronounce the first half of that. In the LEB Oro. So I believe that's Spanish Division 2. Talk to us about that, man. Talk to us about Spain and what's upcoming for you in the next season, man. I know that's a great league over there.
Yeah, so like if you talk to guys that have played in Europe, the best domestic league, so like within the country in the world outside of the NBA, is Spanish ACB, which would be the first league. And unless you're like a former NBA guy, like NBA resume, or have some type of like Spanish passport or something, like no rookie is going to go to Spanish first division. So it almost feels like for me, like I'm starting over. Like it's the whole college thing over again. Like I got to prove myself. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole now. Like I got to work my way up. So that's really what this year is about, is like go there. I got to go kill with the opportunity I get. And like talking with the coach, like I'll be back in a role that I'm used to. Like I'm going to be the starting shooting guard. He was like, I want you to be our main scorer. I want you to be aggressive, like all these things. So it's a good opportunity for me to go like kind of go be myself again, go be the number one scoring option. And I mean, ideally it's go kill and move up as quick as I can. So that's the goal for this year.
And Justin, I have full-fledged faith, and I know that you're going to be able to do that because we've seen you do that in high school. We've seen you do that in college. You know how to work hard. So the wherever you're at, whether you're in the NBA, whether you're in high school, whether you're in Lafayette, you know how to put in the work and you know how to get those results. So I have full-fledged faith that you're going to be able to do that, man. But Justin,
I appreciate it. And like so much with like pros is like, there's a ton of really talented guys. Like everybody can play. So much of it is like timing and opportunity. And that's kind of what sold me on this, was like the opportunity is there. Like they're telling me like what they want me to be. So I know exactly what my job is, to go in and score the ball and like do what I do. So that opportunity is going to be there. So now, like, this year is really all on me. Like, it's going to be there. I have to go play well.
Exactly. And like if someone's out there been listening to this whole interview, if you could put it, in a little bow and tie it up real nice, I think we could say that we could title this Bet on Yourself. Because I feel like, Justin, throughout your career, man, whether it's been those 20 college football offers, whether it's been in the NBA, whether it's been you going somewhere where you're going to get the opportunity to play and prove yourself, you're just betting on yourself, man. And that's beautiful to like to the young kids out there and to everyone out there that's listening. So that's exactly one of my last couple of questions for you, Justin, is if you could give advice to, some young kid out there, somebody who's trying to be like Justin, they trying to make it, what would you tell them?
I mean, I still got a long way to go, but I mean, it's so cliche. Like, I'm sure everybody probably says something on the same lines, but it's just like, work really hard. Like, for me, like, even if I don't make it to the NBA, and I mean, God willing, like, I believe I'm going to, I believe I'm an NBA caliber player, but like, nobody's ever going to be able to say about me, well, like, what if, like, he didn't get everything he possibly could have out of his game, out of like his frame, out of his God-given athleticism. So for me, it's just like, put everything on the table, like, bet on yourself, like, go all in on your work, and like, let everything else fall where it may. Like, whether that's in the NBA for me, whether that's in Europe, whether I can get to the Euro League, Spanish ACB, like, all these things. But like, nobody's ever going to be able to say about me, like, he didn't go all in on it, like, he didn't work as hard as he possibly could. So that's like my thing, is just, I'm going to outwork a ton of people. And like, I believe I'm good enough to do all these things, but like, at the end of the day, I can't really control it. So I'm just going to like work as hard as I possibly can and like control what I can control. And I think everything else will just work itself out.
Man, I think it's something along the line of the Justin name, because my boy Jay Hill, Justin, he always says control the controllables, and you dropping this wisdom of talking about, you're going to control what you can. And honestly, Justin, that was a beautiful little bow and perfect way to, tie up this episode, man. So before we get out of here, Justin, is there any last words that you want to tell to everyone out there about your career, your journey, and what's next for you?
Nah, I mean, I appreciate you guys having me on. If anybody wants to keep up with my career, there's a couple of like Instagram accounts you can follow. So it's called Jaws Tracker. One of my buddies put it together where he's basically just like puts out my game-to-game highlights if you want to keep up with the games. And I have a YouTube page. It's just my name, Justin Jaworski. Posting like workout tapes on there, highlight tapes on there all the time. So that's just kind of two ways that you can keep up with whatever I have going on. I mean, hopefully there's going to be a lot of good Spanish videos coming out in the next couple months.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And for all the family out there, make sure you guys check out all of Justin's work. I'm going to link his Instagram right there. Is right there in the little bubble. His YouTube, the Justin Tracker page is everything's going to be in the description down below and in his little bubble, man. So make sure you check Justin out and show him some love, man. But my boy Jay Hill, you got any last words for our legend, Justin?
Yeah, man. Hey, Justin, appreciate you. Another Justin coming on the show, man. Always appreciate that, and appreciate your time, man. And I'm excited to see what you do in Spain. It was great, amazing to learn more about your career and everything. And y'all, for those of those people listening, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. So this is a perfect example of that. Jaws is a perfect example of that, man. And I'm looking forward to keeping up with you over this next year, man, because I know you're going to do some work, put in some work over there in Spain.
That's it, man. Speak it into existence. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir, man. So that's it. We out of here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.